I wonder who would have guessed the last person, the person of mystery thief, was going to be from Attack on Titan, the series that is very hyped. Personally, I would say I'm not a huge fan. I'm more of a casual fan. I still enjoy it, but I'm not one of the, I'm never really on the hype train. But obviously, as I said, I do enjoy the series. I like a lot of the designs, a lot of the like big, nice like landscape shots like this. Absolutely, anytime love landscape shots. But Zeke is a character that I think is a really good foil for the main character, that being Aaron, because of the whole layout and kind of like parallels between them. And he actually, when he was first introduced, as the Beast Titan, this very strange one that was brought into the series that could talk in full sentences. My whole theory, I was really hoping that he was like pretty much like some form of like advanced Titans, like my mindset, at least back when he first came out, because I read the series early on, not like chapter one, but it was like in the 30s or something. I think Zeke shows up really in like late 30s, early 40s. Shortly after that, when I was caught up, and then I put off the series for years, and then back to it only a couple chapters ago, like 8 or 9 chapters ago. And with that, my whole theory was like maybe like Zeke is from like again like the intelligent Titans, and maybe they had their own society. Like I pretty much thought of them kind of like maybe they're kind of like the Car, and like the normal Titans are kind of like the dumb Hollows. I don't know. That was just a theory. Obviously, it was way off, but at the time, I thought it was cool. But I like his design. His backstory. I think Zeke is a really talented individual. For somebody who had such a bad person, like trying to like mentor him up until the point he met that. Oh, I actually forgot that one dude who actually like made him useful. Because what was it with his father Grisha and his whole plan, putting him in the military, but then he like got to the actual military portion, like physical training, and he's like, oh my god, I've only taught this guy books and like intelligence stuff, but I never trained him physically. So Zeke was just absolutely awful at like all physical aspects of uh the military. So then he met that dude. And someone's gonna correct him about his name. The guy he played baseball with, and that obviously like constantly just like playing catch with this, building up his physique, was able to make him strong enough to actually like give himself like the level he needed, but also on top of that, combining with the Beast Titan of this very, very like strong built set that he has on top of the Beast Titan's like weird body already. He just became able to pretty much. I think he's probably the most dangerous Titan. I would personally say, because they're with the Colossal Titan, it's big, it's slow. It obviously is like the most destructive, but I feel like from a far enough distance, the Beast Titan would pretty much like not even really far enough distance, enough distance that he can kind of just get that shot in, gonna beat most of the other Titans. I think what only the Armor Titan is like his an issue for him because with the armor layer on him. But Zeke was a character. I don't think he even really actually came out of the Titan form until what was it, chapter, I want to say late 60s, early 70s, when he finally showed up and he put on them glasses and started to finally make himself known to the series. And where I said I really liked how he had contrast to Aaron, because when you look at Aaron was this guy who he went to go join the military. He was very good more at physical combat, and just straight up just applying himself to physical aspects of it. Whereas Zeke was built up more intelligently, more of just kind of using his brain to figure out the situations, learn about his enemies, scenarios, and whatnot. And then they kind of like swapped over, whereas Aaron became more mature and became a better like tactician. He clearly is intelligent, and he was able to kind of like put together like his way of like understanding scenarios. And then you have Zeke, who was obviously, like I said, very smart, but he had to take into account, like, he was he wasn't that good at, again, any physical activities. And that was his area to train up on. But on not only that, when you look at even the way that they look at scenarios, because Zeke, obviously, he's very smart. He plans stuff out, but he's made out to seem like this character who's 30 steps ahead of him, but in reality, he's just a couple steps ahead. And he gives off this kind of like visage that he's like, eyes in 5D chessing you before you even like move your first piece. He's still smart, but he's not nearly as just like ahead as you'd think he'd let on. Whereas Aaron, when Aaron applied, like he was, that kind of like shonen main character trope where like they're very good at improv, like in the heat of battle, which is like one of those things I think people just like. That's always just been one of those tropes that is a trope, but people just enjoy it in all aspects whenever it comes to the series. And with Aaron, obviously, like I said, he's very smart in the heat of combat, not just with fighting moves, but also planning, being intelligent. And while Zeke is more of a kind of like pre-prep planner going into an occasion, Aaron, though obviously smart and does plan, he's very good at thinking up on the fly. He's very good at like looking at his scenario and saying like, this is what I got to do in order to turn this in my favor, or this is what I got to do, to pretty much like lead the enemy down the path that I have like in mind. So Zeke's though, I'm kind of I get his mindset, but at the same time, I feel like he's smart enough to know that like the craziness of it. But I'm wondering if his intelligence is actually what's leading up to, or what really led up to him not seeing, because he thought of it more of like a kind of like looking at a scenario and thinking like intelligently, like this is the solution, this is the problem. We're gonna go about these things to fix it. Versus like you look at that, but then you have to keep in mind like the realism. He's like, oh, I mean, he wants to pretty much make all the Eldians sterile. With because of that, obviously the Eldians, they're going to always be treated, as instruments of war. They're always going to be discriminated against, and at the same time, they're always going to suffer from it. So Zeke, in his mindset, is he wants to find a way to pretty much using the power of the founding titan to make it so like sterilized so their bloodline will end. It's like a mercy kill, because not only would it be entering the pretty much forever cycling struggle and hardships of the Eldians, but also the fact that they, even though are forced to it, are used as instruments of war and mass slaughter. So it's really in kind of like a multiple scenarios thing. Whereas Aaron, I don't think Aaron's like full intent was planned. We just know that he obviously wants to help the Eldians. I'm wondering why his plan wasn't like to maybe just make it so they couldn't turn into Titans anymore, because it's clearly within their power that while using the founding Titan's ability, he can completely just genetically alter every single Eldian. Similar to like if he can turn them all into Titans, or just make them sterile, or do what with it, because obviously they're all connected through the power of the founding Titan and Ymir. You should be able to just to take away that power of them turning into Titans. I imagine maybe that's the exception. I don't know. Maybe so everyone can turn into Titans. You gotta figure out a way that doesn't just like, well, my plan is to pretty much mercy kill my entire race by not even mercy kill. It's like a sad, long, like just dragged out rotting of your own self before you're just like, well, this is the last person. Could you imagine being the last, like the youngest Eldian? I'm literally going to be the last of my kind, of my race, and it's not like, oh man, some bad's going to happen. It's like literally, I am the last one to ever exist. But doesn't seem to be going that case for him. And he does have a good backstory. He obviously was trying his hardest to, get things done by any means necessary and have to sell out his parents in the process. But it's it's that way that I think that the same thing, like I said, that I think he looks more at the solution of the Eldians as more of like a kind of like a computer generated kind of solution where it's like, well, this is the most logical option. Where it's like, yeah, you got to take in mind some thought into it, because it's like, yeah, you made a smart choice in a hypothetical scenario kind of case, or if it was like no kind of ties or layout between them, and kind of led to a lot of bad stuff. But it did actually lead to Aaron being born and a lot of the plot to kind of like revolve in there. So obviously, him turning in his parents really led to a lot of the events in Attack on Titan to move forward. But all of this combined, it really just kind of like makes you wonder if Zeke is like, he has a pretty important aspect in this. Like I said, he's a really good foil to Aaron. He's clearly intelligent, clearly knows how to fight. He's been built up, and he's on the same side. He's another person, also, one of the only people that turned into straight Titans, intelligent in the series. But he has this kind of air around him, whereas like him and Aaron, I said air, but it sounded like him and Aaron they have like a contrasting point of their way of combat, which kind of makes it a little bit hard. I'm wondering if theirs is going to be much more settled on like a battlefield, or maybe they will fight and then come out of their Titan form, great like that kind of like Gurren Lagann, which would be pretty cool to see. Not gonna lie, but when you look at like Aaron is much more like direct head-on melee fighting, whereas Zeke is very heavily ranged. So I'm curious to know like how that'll go because there has to be some big final battle. It doesn't have to be some giant shonen clash and the world's at stake. It could be some cool choreography fight between as long as Levi doesn't show up because for unfortunate times for Zeke every single time Levi steps foot on the same page as him the dude loses a couple limbs. Sad stuff for him. But we'll see how things are going because now we're in a weird spot with the series because Aaron and Zeke are pretty much in this crossroad area that connects like all the special Titan people. I'm wondering if it connects all Titans in general. I know it connects all the Titan characters, like the Titan ship. Like they pretty much can see memories from other people that have had it. I believe all of the special ones. I don't remember if it's just the attack Titan. I think so. That I can't really comment on. Like I said, I'm pretty casual when it comes to Attack on Titan. Zeke's just one of those characters that I like, and I paid a little bit more attention to him than I think a lot of the characters that I looked at throughout the series as it progressed. But luckily, that turned out good because he seems to be going to be one of the final characters in the series towards the end with the so. But as long as Levi doesn't show up again, Cyborg Levi or something after getting blown the hell up, then Zeke should be good, and he should be able to have a good end fight with Aaron. But like I said, he's in a crossroad, kind of like of memories now. So I'm wondering where that's gonna lead, like him after this. It's gonna gotta get converted to Aaron's side, but then if he gets switched over, then who's gonna be the final boss? The only other character I think could like fit as like a good end opponent for Aaron personally in my eyes is Misa. Just because I think it would, it'd be a good turn to see that last like fight, but also be human versus Titan, but it's like the main character versus lead female, and the relationship between them. It would be a cool way to end the series. Again, I don't know. For now though, I'm gonna go with Zeke just because I like Zeke. So tell me in the comment section below and what you think about this guy. Poor dude, he just wants to help his people, but in a way that is unfortunate for everybody involved. And he's in that like all stakes guy, so he's ready to go at it. He's duty in his mind as royal blood of the Eldian. We'll see how it goes, dude. I don't know how well it's gonna end for you. I swear something's gonna happen, and Cyborg Levi's just gonna show up and dice you up. But like I said, we'll see. Comment below. Tell me what you think about his character, and go vote in the new poll, the new one. There was a tie this week between Journey of Redemption and Royalty. As I said, the one that was on the list the longest is going to be the tiebreaker, that being Journey of Redemption. So that one, Saturday. Look forward to that. And go vote on the new poll that is up right now. So, like I said, other than that, appreciate the like button and the subscribe button. Check out my other videos. Other than that, I appreciate everyone listening and everyone who's already subscribed. Bye.